Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Macmillan porting via port stream. Thanks, everyone, for joining tonight. Tonight, we'll be doing the Waldo 60% PCB, a PCB that I've had for quite a long time at this point. I've actually stopped using it, but putting V on it might just give it a breath of fresh air. We'll see. Anyway, tonight we are continuing drinking one of my favorite ports that I've ever tried. Whidbey's Vintage 2017 Washington Port. Once again, this is a continuation of me trying to drink local, just to support our local distilleries, local wineries here. Let's see, let's get some tunes flowing. Oh, while the wine starts flowing. There we go. Should be some nice tunes for the evening. There we go. Alright, and I think this might be the night that I finally finished this bottle. I think we've gone 3 streams of me just drinking this so far. So far, so good. I did see that this was still on sale even after about a month. I think Washington is doing some kind of a promotion here, putting all of their local wines on sale at Fred Meyer, Whole Foods, all the local grocery stores. Matt JSH, thank you for following. Oh boy. I probably shouldn't drink wine after I brush my teeth, because now it has this minty flavor. Crap. Okay. That doesn't taste as good as I remember it to. Hold on. Zark says it'd help if I unmute the stream. Yeah, definitely would. Okay, maybe I just need to drink a little bit more so that the minty flavor goes away. You swash it in my mouth for a bit. There we go. Oh, only a 6.5 second latency for once. Yeah, I know. I don't know what's causing it. Something with Comcast, I guess. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? I've seen it up to 40 at one point. I think that was during my... Which stream was that? It was the... It was the Extra Life stream last November. I think it was up to like 45 seconds. It was really bad. Alright, let's see. How many people are here tonight? 8 viewers. Awesome. Yeah, this is one of the more unpopular keyboards. Not sure if you guys ever heard of it before. Go. This is the Waldo 60. It is a Alps and MX compatible PCB with USB-C. If I'm not mistaken, this might be one of the first Alps PCBs that had USB-C on it. I think it was this and the... What was that other board? I think it was an XD60 something. But yeah, this PCB designer is actually located here in Seattle, Washington. Designed by Maple Computing. Maple Computing used to live elsewhere, but sometime last year he moved over to Seattle, so I got a chance to actually meet this gentleman. Kajata says, oh my, that logo. I know, right? That. Yeah, it's... I think the only place you could buy this at, well, at least... Here, let me see if I can find the link. Actually, I've got the link for all of you to see. The only place I know you could buy this at the time was from Project Keyboard, actually. Yeah, so these were about 60 bucks a piece. You had A stock and B stock, MX ALP support, USB Type-C, in-switch LEDs, RGB underglow, QMK firmware, and hopefully by tonight we'll have VIA. Supported ANSI, WinKey and WinKeyless, HHKB, and ISO. And I don't know how many he actually had for sale, but this is all the layout compatibility. If you could somehow find ALPS key sets that supported split spacebar, this would be the PCB to get. Yeah, I think this originally sold with, oh gosh. I don't think I ever got the actual case for it, but if you look at this PCB, it's a standard 60, but yet the reset button is all the way up here instead of down here where it usually is. It's all the way up here, closer to the USB-C port, which is very interesting. 159 says, haha, yeah. I remember this PCB. I remember you talking to me about this too. You're porting this as 159? Yeah, I am on a quest to get as many boards in my collection into VIA as possible. I think I've got 4 more after this one. 159 says, I actually had someone ask me if I have extras. 159, do you have extras? Chameleon says, hello to you too. Well, 159, if I can get it into VIA tonight, which I most likely will, hopefully you can sell any extras you may or may not have. Let's see. One thing I didn't like about this PCB though, is it does not have ESD protection. But to be fair, this PCB came out during a time where ESD protection was not as talked about. So that's probably why. Regardless, this PCB has survived 2 desolderings on my part, so I think that's pretty good, the fact that it survived 2. It used to live in a board that I had Gateron yellows on, and then I switched it to Cherry MX vintage blacks, and I desoldered that as well, and now I'm just stuck with the PCB I don't know what to do with. $159 says, I don't feel comfortable selling them. Oh, okay. 159 says, missing barrel diodes for the B stock. Interesting. Zark says he hasn't seen anyone with ESD protection and reverse voltage protection other than you. Dude, you need to tell me what PCBs you've got, because I would be interested if you had any 60s. 60s or 65s. Zeno says, so sell some PCBs already then. Awesome. Yeah, 159, while I have you on stream, what case did this go in? What case was this meant for? Because it's got the reset button all the way up there, which I'm unaware of any 60 that does that. So I'm thankful that I didn't have to do this into like, I was not the one who put this into QMK firmware. Well, I was, but a large part of the code was already handed to me. Because if you take a look at this microcontroller, you'll see that it's a different package than it normally is. I can barely see any of the pins. So if I had to prod at this, I would have such a hard time. 159 says Lumina. Oh no, I remember that board. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that's that board is reeked in drama, which we will not talk about right now. But yeah, apparently this was the PCB for that. I did not know that the Lumina had a reset button at the top here. Oh boy. Oh boy. Speaking of prodding the microcontroller, you guys may have noticed that the last couple Tuesdays, possibly even Saturdays, that my little multimeter was starting to die. I actually thought it was just the battery, so I tried to change the battery today, and when I opened it up, apparently there was so much corrosion inside, the battery itself had leaked. There was battery acid everywhere, so I cleaned it up as best as I could, replaced it with new AAA batteries, and yeah, would not come back around. So today I took a trip to the Home Depot, picked up another one in the same color scheme because I tend to like orange. Picked this up for about 50 bucks at my Home Depot. This is a Klein Tools MM400. So yeah, just picked up something cheap since I really only use it for one purpose. It's got auto ranging and I can do all that I need to do on it. And it's pretty grippy as well. Like it. Xenophobia says, oof, yeah, I know, right? Like that thing, I've had that for a good number of years now, so I'm glad that it survived that long. Woolsock says, have you ever tried the beer Grain Belt Blue? No, because I am not a big fan of beer. I'm more of a wine, liquor, and cider kind of guy. Puffinum says, IKEA sells their Lada batteries for pretty cheap. Oh, really? Thank you. I will have to look into that. Yeah, I've got a new tool. Cost me about 50 bucks, and yeah, I thought I could use my old test leads. There we go. Where'd my test leads go? Oh no, I had to throw out my old test leads as well, just because it was not compatible with this. So, oh well. Woolsock said, it's a blueberry lager. You might like it if you like ciders. I'm a cider, not too much of a beer fan myself. Very nice. Puffinum has seen too many nice flukes killed by leaky batteries. It's depressing. Flukes are super expensive, and I personally will not buy a fluke just because I know they were the first company that I interviewed for straight out of college, and I just didn't have a very good impression of their interview process. On top of that, I didn't do too well during the interview as well, so it's kind of left a bitter taste in my mouth. Quantisize says, nice SA caps. Yeah, these are SA Olivia. On Olivia's board, actually. This is the Matrix Noah, which, if you guys remember, has been bricked for a good couple months now. And for some reason on Sunday, I plugged it in, and it suddenly started working. Magic. So yeah, the unique thing about the Matrix Noah is it's got an interesting design on the back here. See that? You can actually put the USB-C port on this side or on that side. Look at that. And contrary to popular opinion, that is not the reset button. That is just design, I guess. Zark says it's because I was watching. Yeah, so it's been bricked for a good while. So I haven't actually been able to ship it back to Olivia. So now I can do my 1 week stress test, and after it's all been typed on and good to go, I can finally ship it back. Zark says, quick, close the stream before he plugs it in again. Alright, let's see. And the board that I'm gonna put this in is, I'm gonna build another linear board. I have another batch of Cherry MX vintage blacks that I want to try, and hopefully I'll have a better experience. I might change the springs as well just to curve that out a bit. But the first batch of Cherry MX blacks that I used were just totally unreliable. I had lubed them as little as I can just to preserve that vintage feel, but it was nowhere near as smooth as I hoped it to be. So hopefully the second try will work out. If not, I guess I will just harvest these GMK stabilizers and put them on another board. We'll see. Alright, let's get started. Let's get started with the VIA porting process, or the VIA supporting process. Here goes. Let me... Waldo VIA. There we go. I don't think Maple Computing has made another PCB, so I guess he can stay in the general directory. Alright, here we go. Okay, so when you put VIA support on a board, it requires two parts. The first part is in the QMK firmware repo, and the second part is in the VIA repo. We'll be starting with the QMK portion. Quantitize says that SA sounds quite lovely. Thank you. It's also a fully padded board. I put in a bunch of foam just the other day, because it actually sounds pretty bad without the foam. Alright, let's see. The most basic part of doing VIA is you can take, like, basically you just have to create a VIA key map. And if you've been doing QMK for the last 3 years, it's kind of like the old way of making key maps. So in this way, I like to copy and paste the default key map and rename it as VIA. Pretty simple, right? One thing we gotta take into account is that the VIA key map needs to have 4 layers. Well, you can have less than that, but typically 4 layers for an Atmega32U4 board. So let's make this as basic as we can. 4 layers, layers 0, 1, and 2. Just need EEPROM space, yeah. Typically, the Atmega32U4 has more EEPROM space than a 32A. Right. So what I'm doing here is I'm populating all 4 layers. If you can't think of what to put in that layer, just make it all blank, KC Trans. If you don't do it this way, you load up VIA, you'll come up with the garbage key map. So it's better just to populate it with KC Trans. Go. Let's clean it up a bit here. Just make sure that the key map compiles before we go further, and it does not compile. What did I miss up? MO function, okay. That's why. Okay, the key map builds. Key map builds well. So that's half the process on the QMK firmware end. The next thing you want to do is create a rules.mk file in that same directory, that same VIA directory. Rules.mk, and in rules.mk you have to write 2 lines. The first line is VIA enable. 100 points to who can guess what VIA enable does. The second line is LTO_enable equals yes. What this does is it stands for link time optimization, and it basically makes your firmware file as small as it can be so that you don't take up as much space on your board. And with that, you should be good in terms of VIA. So the way VIA knows what board you have is it looks at your config.h file. Xenophobia says it drills out the VIAs and the PCBs. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. The way VIA knows what board you have is it looks at the vendor ID and it looks at the product ID. And both these values can be seen in your config.h file. As you can see, this is quite 0x FEED and 0x 6060 are fairly generic values, but we want to make sure that they're unique. So let's say, who was the name of the company? Greenwald Designs, PCB designed by Maple Computing. Those are 2 very different names. So what should we, let's say, for use in the host case by Greenwald Design. Okay, we'll stick with Greenwald Designs then. Let's do that. Let's do that. Max F Live has followed. Thanks, man. Let's see. Let me pull out a Greenwald Designs is what in hex? Greenwald Designs, let's call it GD 4744. Anything in QMK that's 4744. Not seeing anything, it's a good sign. Anything in the vidpid database? 4744. Nope, nothing found. Okay, we'll stick with that. .4744, which is GD for Greenwald Designs. Yeah, that's fine. Can do that. Anything else I need to do here? Nope, that's all good. Let us make our VIA firmware file. Actually, let's flash that. Let's flash that. I'm gonna need another USB-C cable. USB-C cable, where are you? There we go. Got another one right here. Look at all those colors, so pretty. Alright, let's put it in reset. Reset. And flash. It's flashing. Boom. Okay, awesome. It's done flashing. Oh, there we go. Okay, we can put this board away for the time being because we'll be moving to the second part of VIA support, which takes place in a different repository. Okay, let's see. Let me take some time to set this up. That's a big ESD sleeve for one PCB. Hey man, I don't buy too many ESD sleeves, so I use what I have. I think that's the one for an 1800. All right, the second part of VIA support takes place in Keyboard Layout Editor. So what you want to do is come up with a preset, or not a preset, but a layout that matches your board exactly. Well, maybe not exactly, but come up with the layout that matches the most standard layout of your board. Since this is a 60%, I have chosen the 60% with the standard bottom row, 6.25U spacebar, and its surrounding mods are 1.25U. And with a fairly large shift key, right shift key, and ANSI. So yeah, this is what you want to start off with. You may be wondering, what are all these numbers here? What's 0, 1, what's 1, 1, what's 1, 2, yada, yada, yada. All of these numbers here represent a row and a column in that order. So this very first row here is labeled row 0, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. And the second number is all just column numbers. And it's like, Merlin, are you just labeling these arbitrarily? No, we are not. We are taking all this info from QMK firmware. Let me show you how that's done. Quantisize says, that makes sense. I sure hope so. If it doesn't, please let me know, and I will definitely try and explain it better. I have an old coworker who used to tell me, have I explained enough to confuse you? And I would always answer, yes, you have. There we go. Let's set this up. Quantisize says, that's your wedding ring, solid metal. Yep. This is a tungsten ring. It's funny. I think, let's see. If you guys remember, I ran the group buy for a bunch of duck weights. I ran it for the Viper Eagle. I ran it for the Octagon, and quite a few others. And during this time period, I was really into looking up like, okay, brass, aluminum, which weight do like people want, stainless steel. And someone had asked me about tungsten. So while I was thinking about tungsten, I guess this was around the same time that I was getting married as well. And my wife asked me, hey, or I guess she was my fiance at that point. She was like, oh, so what kind of ring do you want? And I'm like, tungsten. But yeah, I have a tungsten ring. All right, here we go. Here we go. So all these numbers are derived from your keyboards.h file. And since this is a Waldo PCB, it's your waldo.h file. In waldo.h, you'll find a bunch of these pound define layout things. These are what we call in QMK the layout macro. The bottom part is the electrical matrix, and the top part is the physical matrix. For the purposes of VIA, you only have to pay attention to the top part, which is called the physical matrix. And this is where we're getting all the numbers, guys. See? It goes K00. It's in the same formatting. The first number is the row, the second number is the column, and then it goes 00 all the way till 13. 13, so as you can see, I've done the first 3 rows, and all I have left are the last 2 rows. So let's do those together. It goes from 3032, 32, 33, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Fairly simple. Fairly simple tonight. Quantize, he says, perfect timing, I know, right? Ten, 11, 12. Okay. Last row is 404142. Looks good. And that space bar is actually 46. Followed by 49. 410. 411. Oh no, it's 412 actually. It goes A and then C. And then 13. There we go. We got it. Alright. So now we have VIA support for the standard 60% layout for this board. But you may be asking, but Merlin, this isn't a hot swap board. There's more than one layout. Very true. Next thing we need to do is actually support those additional layouts. There we go. This is the way we do it. Basically, imagine you are making, let's see. Imagine you are making one of these in Keyboard Layout Editor. So that's what we're doing. Right? So the first thing is we need to add split backspace support. And split backspace is actually not mod colored. Despite what people want it to be, it is not mod colored. Let's do that. Okay. And this is where we tell VIA how it differentiates between a full backspace and a 1U backspace. you go to this bottom right hand legend here and you type in 00. So instead of this being a row and a column, this is a group and an option. So the backspace is group 0, option 0, because it is the base layout. You want to do the same up here. They're also part of the same group. They're part of the backspace group, so group 0, but they're option 1. And of course, we need to figure out what these two keys are. So that would be D and E. That's 013 and 014. Great. The next group is going to have to be this ISO, this enter group. So let's do that. Let's add an ISO enter key, and let's add that 1U right next to it, like so. Make sure it's the correct color. By correct color, these are the colors that Wilbur prefers. Okay, so over here, this is another group of keys, right? So it can't be group 0. We have to call them group 1, and since it is the base option, option 0. This next set of keys is also part of the same group, so it's still group 1, but it's option 1. And now we got to figure out what keys they are. Oh great. This board doesn't actually have an ISO layout. So we may have to figure this out by poking at it. Let's poke at it. Let's poke at it really quick. Nebulin says Waldo support. Yeah, Waldo support for the Lumina. All right, here goes. Time to use my new multimeter. Nebulin says I cannot wait for my Alp Sirius to have VIA. Ooh, you've got one of these in your Sirius, I assume. New multimeter time. Let's figure this out. Oof. I want you to beep. There we go. It beeps now. Okay. Alright, let's start with that. It's the same column. This is actually right, that's 213. Here, show you guys. Nebulin says, to be honest, kind of a janky PCB. Uh-oh. 159, did you hear that? Okay. My guess is that the enter key, the ISO enter key, is going to be 214. But let's just double check that it's indeed part of that same row. Okay, let's... Only the coolest people have essay Olivia. Okay. That's what it is. It's not 214. Basically, this key is that. It's actually 113. Okay. I believe that is all I need of the multimeter. I can put it away. Alright, looks good. The next group we need is going to be left shift to continue our ISO support. Oops, why did I do that? Actually, let's shift that all over just a little bit. Ping you later if you need third-party firmware tests. Sure. You brave enough to try my firmware. Right, folks. Since this is once again another group, it's gonna have to be group 2. Group 2. 2 and 1. 2, 1. And we can tell, because it's skipping over here, that this is going to be 3, 1. Like so. Our next group is going to be the right shift. Right shift. And this is a whole new group as well. So we've already done 0, 1, and 2. This is going to be group 3. There we go. And this is going to be 3C, 3D. So 312 and 313, based on what QMK is telling us. And last but not the least, the last group. The last group. Group 4. Group 4. Like so. Let's all label this 4. Group 4, option 0. It's the standard layout. And we need to take a look at what it supports. HHKB. What else? Split spacebar as well. Okay, we can do split spacebar. It's not gonna be fun. Okay, let's start with HHKB. Or Sangan, actually. Okay. 40, 41, 42, yeah. That looks fine. 40, 41, 42. Make sure we have the right sizes here. 42. For Sangan, it's still 46. Let's do that. 7 goes 49. Okay, that's good. There we go. Awesome possum. Now we'll do HHKB. So the way you do HHKB is you still need to have these keys present, right? You don't necessarily need to have them labeled. So you just set them to decal. Bam, like that. You actually don't need any of the top legends. Like so. Now we're gonna need, you know what? Let's do the split as its own option for now. Copy. I didn't. There we go. Perfect. So according to the PCB, the first space bar is going to be 2.25, followed by 1.25, and then 2.75. So let's do that. 2.25. 1.25, and then 2.75, like so. Go. Let's look at that. Yep. Looks good. Looks very good. Great. So now we have to figure out what keys go in here. According to layout all macro, that would be 44.4. 4446. 4446 and 48. There we go. Awesome. We're actually going to make this very top one option 1. Option 2. Option 3. So even if this last key is a decal, we still need to put the group and option number in it. And we should be done with the KLE portion. Awesome. All right. It's time to pour myself another glass. Yep, I can do a third glass after this. Maybe once I get the port done. Racing Giraffe says, hi Merlin, hello to you too. We have just finished up the KLE portion of VIA. Woohoo! Okay, I'm gonna set up this next bit really quick. We are going to need, done. Yeah, since this is Olivia's layout, I'm not used to having delete there. Alright, we are in a brand new repo called Keyboards. Ghost of Goji says, just getting into the hobby, love the stream, super informative. Thank you so much. This is the VIA repo, completely different repo than the QMK firmware repo. Not even within the same org, this is an entirely different org run by Wilba, Olivia, and a few others. Alright. So what you want to do is all this information that we just have, we need to put it in the source directory or SRC directory. And the way they've been doing it is if it's not a vendor, or if it's a one-off, or the vendor just made one board, it goes into the other directory. So here we go. Let's do, in the other directory, let's create a subdirectory called Waldo. And within the Waldo directory, waldo.json, like so. Yep, VIA files are JSON files. And the way I like to do this is I like to copy something that I've already done, such as the Doro67 regular, and just copy paste, like so. Because I don't remember all of the keys. Well, if you want to know what the keys are, you just have to go to caniusevia.com and read all of their documentation. They talk about what each of the keys are, what's required, and what they do. So let's just edit this really quick. Waldo 60. See, I remember the product ID, but not necessarily the vendor ID. Actually, I think it's 4744. There we go. Rows and columns are 5 by 15. It's great. And we can delete this key map right there. We don't need that quite yet, but we will grab all that information from KLE. Alright. So go back to your KLE, click raw data, and unlike making QMK configurator files, you don't copy and paste the raw data, but rather you download the JSON. Like so. Make sure it's downloaded and open it up. Open it up. Take all of it. Copy. Go to your waldo.json, look for the key map key, and paste it in, just like that. Okay. So one thing that you need to do after this is you need to make sure that all of that groups, all of those options are represented. So the way to do that is having a labels key, which I always forget how it goes. Here we go. There we go. You can just copy and paste. There we go. Elite Paul, Pen in Fridge, thanks for following. There we go. Let's just do all that. And the way this works, if you just put the label in double quotes, this appears in VIA as a toggle button. So in our case, do we want split backspace? That's a toggle button, yes or no. The next key was enter key, so ANSI or ISO, yeah, that works. The next one is split left shift, also a toggle key. And what we want next is split right shift. Then bottom row, if you want like a drop down button, then you have to put that into a array like this. So within the array, there should be a list of different items. The very first item in that list should be the actual label, followed by each of the drop down options in the correct order. So we did a standard one, we did a split one, then we did Sangan, and then we did HHKB. There we go. No. Clean it up a bit. It's all nice and pretty. There we go. Okay. I should be done here. Let me open up VIA. You can check things in VIA actually just to see if you've got this JSON file done correctly. Here we go. I believe I am running 1.2.7. Not sure if that's the latest, but I did download this just a few weeks ago. So you want to go to your design tab. If you don't have a design tab, make sure you go to settings and you click on show design tabs, like so. Go to design, load, go to other, Waldo, and if you did this correctly, you should get a representation of what you did in Keyboard Layout Editor. So let's try this. Boom, and I have a lot of space on the bottom. Something's a little wrong here. Let me look back into things. No, that actually might be fine. Let me... Yeah, I think that might actually be fine. Yeah. One thing that's cool about VIA is you can do show matrix. You can see how this board is all put together. That. All right, next thing you want to do is go to configure And then you want to plug in your board. With any luck. With any luck. With any luck, your board should be detected. Let's try that. Woo! Got detected. And I've got all this extra space, so I did probably do something wrong here. Let's see, all that's in. If you go to layouts over here, you can check it out. The backspace and see ISO, like so, split left shift, all that's changing, split right shift, bottom row, you can pick split, Sangan, HHKB, perfect. It all works, but why is there so much space? Why is there so much space? Let me look at a few things really quick. Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it. I see my sins. I had an extra key in there. It is possible to have more than 4 layers, not in VIA, unfortunately. Peter Poppins, thanks for following. Alright, so one thing I did notice is that I forgot to set up all of the lighting. And I always forget what the keys should be. So we should look at something like the Tokyo 60. There we go. Let's borrow you. QMK backlight, RGB light. So we can have both backlight and RGB light. Awesome. Okay, we'll try that again. We will try that again. Go back to, actually, you know what? I found that it's better to always just close and reopen VIA. Design tab, load up the new JSON file that you've created. Yes, it works. No more extra space, perfect. So when you hit configure, actually let me unplug the board first. Configure, then plug in. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Just to give you guys a demo of the lighting. Currently it's all red. Let's set it to green. Pink. That's supposed to be pink. Let's do yellow. Blue. There we go. And underglow effect, let's try snake. There we go, snake. Snake, or where's Knight Rider? Knight Rider, where are you? Knight. There we go. Yay. VIA is now officially, well, not officially, it's not official until it makes it in, but we've just demonstrated that VIA is indeed possible for this board. Yay! Right. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Awesome. Let's see. Wow, I just started the stream an hour ago and we finished this port really quick. This might be the quickest via stream that I've ever done. Awesome, awesome possum. All right. Getting good at this, says Christopher. Yeah, I know. So you guys watched my first via stream, the one. What was my first via port? Was it a DZ60? I think it was a DZ60. I needed to have Olivia walk me through this and like hold my hand every step of the way. I just couldn't get it right for some odd reason, but yeah, it's much faster now. Much faster now. Very cool. So let's see, with that known, Nebulant, are you online? I could use some third-party testing. Here, let me just poke him. Let's go poke Nebulant. Hello, good sir. Here are the files you need. Alright, we'll give him some time to get back to me. But while we're doing this, let's talk about some of my beautiful sponsors. My sponsors are indeed beautiful. I've had the opportunity to meet every single one of them. In fact, if you guys watch any of my meetup videos, I believe I've gotten a few shots of every single one of my sponsors. I don't know, actually, Keebio is not in any of my meetup videos, but he is in my interview video. He's in my Seattle Meetup Talks video. Quantize, he says, ad time it is. There we go. Let's start with Novelkeys. Novelkeys is actually my very first sponsor. He's currently running 2 different sets. He's running Cat Arctic. If you guys like the cat profile, because I sure do, and you're looking for something blue and black, this is probably the set to get. This group buy is running all the way until June 1st and will be shipped, hopefully, by the end of the year. If you guys pay attention to other group buys, this is Blue Month, meaning a lot of key sets are in the color blue. I personally think this is one of the nicer looking set, but not the best looking blue set, which we will get to later. A base kit is about... Actually, no. This does not have base kits. It has several kits, all around the $30 to $40 range. However, if you get enough to match a GMK set, it's roughly the same price as GMK. Cat Gold Rush when? Says Olivia. I don't know. Oh, Olivia, since you're on. It's still working. Hopefully by this Friday, after I've typed on it for about a week, I can send it to you. All right. His other set that he's running is GMK Classic Blue. For a base kit, this goes for $130, running until May 29th. And get this, guys, delivery is February 2021. That's pretty insane. When I first started talking about the set, I said that it looked like Tai-Hao. It looked like a typical Tai-Hao set, but the more I look at it, the more I actually like it. So I'm gonna have to take my words back from a few weeks ago. Look at that, 130 bucks for the base set. Blue base is also 130. Space bars are 35. The Rama caps are about $43 each. It does indeed pop. Says quantize. If you think GMK is too expensive, which it is by the way, consider JTK Zen. Personally, I feel this was such a stealth drop because I had never heard of this set until it showed up on Novelkeys. Check it out. It's called JTK Zen, inspired by the Japanese rock garden. Group buy is running until May 28th and is actually going to be delivered in October 2020. Yeah, check it out. Looks like it's triple legend. It's got both your Roman alphabet, then you've got Japanese characters in green. See, one thing that I'm not sure about is, are those pad printed or are those double shot or triple shot? Now, please note that the base kit will also include the double shot Latin alphas. Oh, there we go. Triple shot. Triple shot, guys. What you're seeing there is triple shot legends. Black, white, and green. None of those will wear off over time. Quantize says, how have JTK sets begun to improve over the years? I've heard problems with their caps in the past. Most of the problems that I have encountered with JTK are people comparing JTK sharpness versus GMK legend sharpness, you know? And honestly, if you compare what I would call a much cheaper, a sub-grade product against a top-tier product, you are going to see issues like these. Like if you're typing regularly, you are not going to see many issues. But issues that I have spotted in the past is backspace. Let's see. This one has icon legend, so you're not going to see it. But backspace would be split out into two words: back, small space, space. And for like characters like alt, where's the alt key here? Here we go. Alt key, the T would be spaced out a little further to the right than the rest of the letters. Based on these renders, I'm not really seeing any of these issues, but once again, these are renders. All right, his last set. Actually, that's his last set. Awesome. If you guys don't want to participate in any of his group buys, I do have a Novelkeys discount code wizard. You get up to 5% off on any of his in-stock items. Does not include group buy or pre-order. My next sponsor is Zeal PC. Zeal PC is located in Richmond, Canada, and you may know him for some of the most expensive switches in the community. Actually, this Matrix Nova that I have in front of me is running turquoise Helios, which I think retail for about $1.20 a switch. Expensive, I know, very expensive. I always recommend to people to buy these during the group buy, not when they're in stock, and specifically to buy them on drop. I have scored like massive discounts just buying on drop. And I keep saying this, I have a Xeno from Zeal PC. It'll be built soon, one of these days. Quantize says Zeal PC Kit Kats. He just gets them at the Daiso, which is a couple floors below him. Nothing special really. You can just get it at Daiso or like Uwajimaya if you guys have Japanese stores in your state. My next sponsor is Dixie Mech. Dixie Mac is running a set that people have been waiting for the longest time. GMK Redacted. Started off as a meme. I believe it was an April Fool's joke. And then, let's see, how much is it selling for? It's selling for $124 for the base kit. You have until June 2nd to purchase this kit. I myself will not be in on any of the base kits right here, but I do want the novelty set. Check this guys out. Check it out. All right, guys. I need to duck out for a few seconds. My wife is motioning to me to come over. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. As I was saying, this is probably the kit I will get, because where else? What other kit is going to have something called top secret? Classified document, redacted, secret, sealed, classified, all of that good stuff. I've said this before, but the only key missing here is if you have a top secret on row 1, you need a bottom secret on row 4. Here we go. You have until June 2nd to purchase this, and an approximate shipping time is Q1 of 2021. Basically, any GMK set that you buy right now, that you join right now, you will be receiving next year. It also comes with Rama keycaps. Look at all that. And a desk mat. Not so sure I want that desk mat, but sure. My next sponsor today is Keebio. Keebio is a fellow QMK collaborator. He sells a bunch of boards like the Iris, the Elite C, the Nyquist, the Levinson, and all that. One thing I've been waiting to buy is the BDN9, a small macro pad with 2 rotary knobs. I missed out on the sale, so unfortunately I did not get one. Hopefully it comes into stock soon. We'll see. But what I always recommend to people, if you have any Pro Micro, Elite C, or Proton C boards, make sure you get one of these. These are peel away sockets for Pro Micros. You won't ever have to desolder your Pro Micro again. Basically just solder these guys in, then put your Pro Micro on, and if you ever get tired of the board or your Pro Micro craps out on you, you just have to pry it off. Super simple, just like that. Alright, last but not the least is Project Keyboard. Project Keyboard is actually selling a set I've been waiting for the longest time. This is GMK Masterpiece. The blue set, which I think looks the best this month. Check it out. Look at that. I am personally going to be in for the desk mat and for the value kit. Those are the 2 kits that I will be purchasing. He does not have any cool novelties in my opinion, so I'm a little bit sad about that. But overall, I like the set. I like the set a lot. I'll be getting this mat and value base, so that's gonna put me about 140 bucks. Not bad. I did notice that this seems to be one of the more ambitious sets, because if you look at estimated shipping time, Q4 2020. That's this year. Every other vendor I've looked at, every other GMK set I've looked at has advertised Q1 of 2021. So who knows? Who knows, right? Who knows, right? Only time will tell. Awesome. All right, guys, let's see. How many of you were on tonight watching my fastest VIA support stream? Yeah, I think this might be my fastest VIA support stream. Did this all in 1 hour. Holy crap. Oh look, this used to be the ESD protective covering for the TKC 1800 that I have. Here we go. Just took an hour to do this, guys. Hopefully I'll keep doing better. Only an hour and a half. Well, I finished the port in an hour. You know what? I wonder if Nebulant responded to me quite yet. Nope, Nebulant has not responded to me, and it looks like he's offline. I guess we will not wait any longer. Very cool. I can now... I still need to clean all of my vintage MX Black, so hopefully I'll build a board with these in 2 or maybe 3 weeks. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Alright, guys. Thank you for watching. My next stream will be this coming Thursday. I'll either be doing something keyboard related or we'll be playing a Switch game for another episode of The Best Gaming Switch. Alright, guys. Thanks for sticking to the end. Have a good rest of your week. Make sure you wash your hands and stay safe. Bye, guys.